if you feel everyone's making 70K and you're making 70K, why not share the equity company with everybody? Why own 100% of it? Because you're sitting there worth a couple $100 million. Why not have them have a few $100,000 of net worth added to them?
Yeah. So it's because the shares currently, like, we're not public, like, so the shares aren't, you can't like go sell them. You know what I mean?
Oh, but you can give a stock options where the individual can vest over a 5-year period. And there are a lot of people that work for companies who are not public that give shares that allows the individual to build up their network. Because right now, your employees don't have a high net worth. You do. So although you are being very noble on the area of giving everybody a $70,000 a year salary, I'm thinking if you're going to go that, why not go fully and give everybody a piece of the company so it's equally shared with everyone? Because
Yeah.
if you do that, then that takes the case study. Again, remember, I'm coming from a selfish place because I want to see how this thing works long term on the case study. So if you did 200 employees get a 0.5% and you put a 5-year vesting
Yeah.
period that they have to stay there, would you consider doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great idea, but I'll say I'm not sure that I'm really able to connect with you or explain to you like what some of the danger and downside would be to doing it. But I still think it's something good that we need to consider either way.
Yeah, I say
But
that.
I think that it's so hard. I think I could be wrong, but I think it's so hard because we're so deep in the system, the economic system. It's so hard, I think, for somebody that's like working at that deep level in the system to understand a world divorced from shareholder supremacy. And I think that if you could understand like a world other than shareholder supremacy, I think it would make the way that you're thinking through and analyzing an issue very different.
Yeah, the only way I'm thinking about it is I'm thinking about it in a way of, hey, this is the amount of money that came in. Why don't we take the money that came to LA District County and let's use
Yeah.
the money to do. So if you have equity, because you're in a very you're a very
Let me
wealthy
try to
guy.
explain it to you. I feel like you really want to understand. So let me try really hard to explain it to you.
I don't think it's
Um,
I want to understand. Let me explain to you my question. I think you got to understand my question. Here's my question. My question isn't like I run a
we
company.
don't think that way, right? So you're saying, how come you guys don't think the way I think?
No, that's not what
And
I'm
I'm
asking.
like,
I actually don't think the way you think. I don't think
yeah,
the way you think. What I'm trying
yeah.
to
So
tell
I
you
don't
is
know how to answer the question then
no, but what I'm
because,
saying to you is if you're worth 200 million, why don't you give
yeah,
equal amount of shares to your employees so they also have
I'm
a high
not
net,
worth 200 million.
say 100 million, whatever
I'm
your
not
number
worth
is.
100 million.
I asked you earlier if you're doing 4.5 million EBITDA, they pay you 20 to 40%. That's about $100 million net worth.
No, it isn't.
How is it not? If a person wanted to buy, if I were to right now, you're a pretty transparent guy. That's what made you unique. What made you unique is the fact that you were willing to be transparent. You were very much about my income's 1.1.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would love to explain it to you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'll try if you want.
I'm all ears. Tell us.
Okay. So currently, the way the economy works, as I understand it, is the most important thing that drives the companies is this thing that this guy Milton Friedman came up with, right? Shareholder value. And basically, the companies are currently run in general with what's going to enhance the stock price at some time horizon.
Okay.
And then there's something that the compensation experts do called alignment, incentive alignment. And basically what they do is they take those stock price targets and things that the corporation wants to achieve, like a higher stock price, and they set up incentives for the executives and employees and stuff like that so that it creates what the experts call alignment between the shareholders, who are kind of set up as the primary beneficiary of the scheme, and it creates a harmonious. It purports to create a harmonious relationship between them and quote unquote management or top executives, so that they'll be aligned, so that the executives when they have to make a really tough decision that's going to prop up the stock price, that incentive is designed to make sure that the executives make the decision that's good for the shareholders, good for the stock price. And the value, the multiples that you talked about, are predicated on having a management team that and a setup of a company that's run in this manner. If you took the exact same metrics, but you told shareholders they can never lay off employees, ever. If you took the exact same metrics and you told employees you can never raise customer prices in a way that's an unjustifiable money grab. If you told the investors they were no longer allowed to do those things and they wouldn't be able to expect any type of liquidity event from the company really ever, but not on any specific time horizon, and they couldn't create it, then the value of those shares would be depressed significantly, and it would basically create a situation where it was a fraction. The company would be worth, in that scenario, a fraction of what it's otherwise worth. So in a world where we're planning to join this kind of scam that everybody can see, that I think you may be bought into a little bit. If we decide that we're willing to participate in that scam, and just to have the rubber meet the road for you, because I think this one will really land with you. I had a gentleman come up to me who I've known for close to 2 decades, been a mentor of mine, been a CEO of multiple successful companies in our industry, and run multiple multi-billion-dollar companies in our industry. And he came up to me and said, Dan, I could come join Gravity or somebody like me, and I could turn this into a multi-billion-dollar company within a few years. Because if we unwound this and that, like not doing layoffs in the pandemic when our competitor Toast used it as an excuse to lay off 50% of their employees when their value was going from $5 billion to $8 billion, not doing a $100 price increase in the pandemic to small businesses like our competitor Heartland that's owned by Global Payments, a public company. These are the playbooks and the models in our industry, and the value that you're putting out there is based on the idea that you're going to play ball in this way. And Obi was saying that, and I was like, you know what? I don't think the world needs another billionaire, and I don't even know that the world needs like a whole lot more like multimillionaires out there. I think what we need is a company that's willing to stick up for what's right, stick up for these principles. And the way we run the organization currently, when we get together and make decisions, is we do it as if shareholders don't exist. So we consider shareholders at zero when we're considering how to run the company. All of a sudden, if we create the type of incentive alignment that somebody who's like a hardcore capitalist, like an unapologetic capitalist would try to get us to do, are we still going to run the company in the same way after that, right? And the answer to that is maybe not. And I would like to think that we're all such good people that we would turn away from the opportunity to make more money, to stick up for what's right, to stick up for our values. But currently, we just do it by basically taking all of that money and basically considering it to be money that's really most rightfully, considered as an asset for clients, small businesses, employees. How can we use these resources to help? And all of a sudden, if we created that kind of incentive alignment structure, it would really take us and make us less of what we are and more of what companies that you're used to seeing.